Hello everyone and welcome back to another 4D Systems project. In this project, I'll be taking you through the process of designing and programming this weather report display. In this video, we'll take a quick look at the Photoshop file where I designed these assets, and then I'll show you how I took those assets into Workshop 4 and programmed this display. Let's get started. So I'll be starting this project off in Photoshop. I've already set up all of the assets that I'll be using, so I'll give you a quick rundown of everything here. First of all, the artboard or the resolution of the project that I'm working with is matched to the resolution of the screen that I'll be using. Today I'll be using a Gen 4 ULCD 2.8 capacitive touch display. And if you go over to the 4D Systems website, navigate to Products, and find your display series, there is a list of all of the resolutions of the displays, as well as the datasheet and step files if you need them as well. So it's good to set up your Photoshop file to match that resolution, because it means it'll save you all the hassle of having to resize your assets once they are imported. So this project is pretty basic in terms of the setup. Basically what I'm going to do in Workshop 4 is use some widgets to cycle through the different graphics that I have ready. Of course, if you wanted to, you could also make these graphics change with touch, buttons, or anything similar to that, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'll simply be using code to animate them with a timer delay. So the first layer or part of the program will be the background. This is going to be all of the graphics that are going to remain static. Those being this title at the top and the labels and graphics at the bottom here for sunset, temperature, and wind. I will export those as a single PNG image so it can all be imported together and I don't have to touch any of those assets again after that. Now these numeric values down here are simply placeholders. I will be using some label widgets to add them in Workshop 4. However, it's always handy to complete the design and layout here to have something to refer back to. Finally is the main part of the program, which is this big weather graphic, as well as the number with the temperature and the good evening text. So basically what I've done is set up multiple states or sort of weather presets, which the program will be animating between. So as you can see, I have cloudy as well as rain, thunderstorm, and sunny as well. That is the basic setup and design of this program finished. Let's head over to Workshop 4 and start building. So now I've launched up Workshop 4 and I'm going to start by creating a new project. I'm then going to find my display, which is a Gen 4 ULCD 2.8 capacitive touch, and I want the orientation to be portrait. You can change the orientation by clicking on the graphic of the screen here. And for this project, I'll be working in the ViSi environment. So as usual, the first thing I'm going to do is import the background graphic. To do that, I am going to make sure that Form 1 is selected in the Object Inspector. I'm then going to go down to the Properties menu and select the Image option. This will bring up a window that will allow me to import the PNG that I mentioned earlier. So if I click Open, the File Explorer will pop up, and from here I can choose my desired image. Since we set up the Photoshop file properly, there is no need to scale or resize the image, so I'm just going to press OK. The last step here is to simply turn the background type option from color to image. And as you can see, the background is now being displayed. Let's move on and do the numbers to be displayed at the bottom. This is pretty simple. I'm just going to go to the Widgets menu, select the Labels tab, and then I am going to drag a static text label onto the screen. In the Properties menu, there are various options to customize this widget. I'm going to press on the three dots next to the font option, which will bring up this window to customize the text. I just want to change it to be slightly bigger. Now that I am happy with it, using the caption option, I'll input text that I want to be displayed. For example, I'll put 7 o'clock here for the sunset, and I can drag it into place. I'll then just copy and paste this over to the other ones as well. And those are pretty much done. Next up, let's import the images that will be displaying the type of weather, such as cloudy or rainy. For these, we'll simply be using a user images widget. So once again, I will go over to the widgets menu, this time to the system media tab, and I'll select and drag in a user images widget. The user images widget allows you to import and control multiple images at once, and that is exactly what we will be doing here. If I come down to the properties tab and select the images option, once again a window will pop up that will allow you to import all the images you would like. As you can see, I now have these images imported and I'll just press OK. Now I can resize and place them on the display. I'll be animating these later on when I write the code. For the title that says the day at the top, as well as the text down the bottom that says good afternoon, I'll follow the exact same steps but with their respective assets. So once again, I'll drag in user images, select the images option, and import the graphic for both of those as well. Now that we have all of this, the final part of the program is going to be the temperature display right in the middle of the screen. For this, I'm going to use a smart widget. It doesn't matter which one you use, it can be a slider, knob, or gauge. The reason that this makes no difference is because I am not going to be using the smart widget as I normally do. Normally, I'd have multiple layer graphics that I import and animate. However, this time I purely want to use the numeric part value, and this functions the exact same on all of the smart widgets. So I'll just drag in a smart knob, and then I'll choose the config option down here. And then as mentioned, I'm just going to enable the numeric part option. I'm also going to change its font, size, and placement as well. Now I am going to give it a max value of around 35, which means that this smart widget now has 35 frames that I can animate within, as you can see while I scroll through. Great. Now I can press OK and place that where I would like. That is everything for the design side of this project. Now we can move on to the final step, which is the code. This one will be nice and short, so let me take you through it quickly. At the top of the file, you'll see a few platform and include statements. These basically tell the compiler what display we're using, and they pull in all automatically generated files that contain widget IDs, color definitions, and constraints for this project. Inside main, the first thing the program does is mount the micro SD card. If the SD isn't inserted or can't be read, the program just keeps flashing a message and waiting. Once the SD card is mounted, we load our image control file, in this case weather.dat and weather.gci. This gives us a handle called handle1, and that handle is what lets us talk to all the graphic objects created in Workshop 4. After that, we show our first form, Form 1, which is the main layout of this interface. Now the fun part happens inside this loop. We create a variable called frame, and we run it from 0 up to 100. Each time the loop runs, we update the image index of several user image widgets. This is how animation works in ViSi. Each user image widget contains multiple frames inside the GCI file. So by swapping the image index every cycle, we can animate icons, symbols, or even custom graphics. For example, user images 3 cycles through 7 frames. User images 1 cycles through 5, and user images 2 cycles through 3. We're doing the same thing for the Smart Knob widget as well. It has 36 frames, so we change it smoothly by adjusting its image index every loop. Underneath that, we redraw our static text widgets just to make sure they're always visible on top. And finally, we add a 1-second pause so the animations step forward at a nice steady rhythm. And that's the whole structure. We mount the SD card, load the graphics, show the main form, and then animate our widgets. And that is everything for the code of this program. From here, we are pretty much done. I'll connect my screen to my computer using the breakout board, ensure that it's being recognized in the comms tab, and I'll double check my project settings before finally compiling and uploading everything. That's everything for this project. If you would like to take a look at the Gen 4 ULCD series or any of our other products, please visit our website, and if you have any questions, please visit the 4D Systems Resource Center, which are both linked in the description. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more tutorials and project videos. See you next time.